We're at McGee University. At the minute, preparing for a V02 Max Test. So, idea is then I'll have my training zones and stuff, and I'll figure out where I need to be at in terms of training and what intensities I should be going at, making sure I'm not going too hard or I'm not going too easy. And then ultimately come back in maybe 6 or 12 weeks, retest and see if there's any improvement and my fitness levels and stuff. So that's what we're at today.
Just on the treadmill, Danny, and we'll get you mat stuff and we'll get you pad and stuff. We'll do a quick warm up and then we'll get you going. So, whenever the data is on here, Danny, don't be looking at the.
Oh, I don't.
Don't be getting distracted by looking at the.
Straight ahead.
By your heart rate and the speed or anything.
Yeah. Just tunnel vision.
Yeah, just look straight ahead.
Keep your look.
Well, we're getting good data here, all looking good. So we can see here now, so the lines are quite separate now. So this O2, this CO2, that's what we're expecting to see. And we're looking here at this rate of expiratory ratio, so that's 0.81. So anything below 1 is an aerobic energy system, so this is the way it should look. So we'll see that line cross when the higher he goes, the faster he goes, the more he has to change from burning fats. He's going to start burning carbs. That will move over then, and we'll know then that we really have to shout from then. But he's really comfortable at the minute, obviously, because he's just walking. The elevation isn't too bad at the moment, so.
It's a calf.
I know, yeah.
You keep going, you don't want to get started. You want to get to the next level.
Oh, you're definitely getting the next level. Don't even think about that. Next level is 8 kilometers per hour at 18%. We're definitely going there.
I don't even know hurt lungs with my calves.
Yeah.
Muscles.
Keep pushing through, Danny.
If you can talk, Danny, you're all right. Okay. Okay, 10 seconds, 8 kilometers per hour at 18%. Okay.
Just keep pushing through, Danny. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Start the fight, Danny. Come on. React. That's it. Come on. Let's go now. You're not beat by a long shot. Come on. Let's go. Come on, Danny. Come on. Fight. Let's go, Danny. Come on. Come on, man.
Good man. Keep your head up. Come on.
Keep pushing. Come on. That's it. That's it. Brilliant fighting. Come on.
Come on. Dig down. Come on.
Come on. We can get to the next phase. We can. Come on.
You do 10 man in a row. You can do this. Come on.
Come on, Danny. Come on. Fight back. That's it. Every time.
Come on. Push it through.
Come on.
Come on.
Keep going, man. Keep going.
Try to keep your head
Keep
up.
going. Come on. You've got more. Come on. You've got more. That's it.
Come on.
That's it. You've got more. Come on. Fight back again at it. Keep going till you've nothing left. Nothing left, man. Come on. Keep going.
Come on, Danny. Try and get to the next
Let's
stage.
go. I got you. Come on. I got you. Okay.
Okay, relax, Larry.
Relax.
Hold on, Danny.
Just keep that mask on, man. Okay.
All right, Danny. So we're in Ulster University here in Derry, and you just had their VO2 Max session. So first time doing it, and what was it like?
Tough, women. Lungs, still feeling it a wee bit in the lungs. It's only been about 20 minutes since it finished. Tough test. Don't think I reached my VO2 max. It's just not there. Big ramp test, so it was sort of like up the 10% incline straight away at the start. Right enough, it was only walking pace, but I could feel it in my calf straight away. So tough, but the test itself was as expected. I haven't been doing much running at all, so I got a fair score or something, fair, which is about right, I think, for where I'm at and the little running I've been doing. But no, tough.
Yeah, your goal is essentially swimming. So it's just like exercise adaptation. So you're not used to running hills, like running inclines. So it made sense. But the plan is you come back now in 12 weeks. You'll be more exercise adaptive there, and then you can like really go into the capacity kind of that you truly have as like an athlete.
Yeah. I know, definitely. It I am where I am. It just shows exactly where I am, and that's always a good starting point to improve upon. So it's like go now, whatever the results are, use them, try and train at those zones, the training zones, making sure that I don't overtrain and make sure that I also do enough training. So keep injuries away, keep consistency. Hopefully those figures will help improve as the next few weeks go on. But it was a brutal wee test. So it was. Hey.
Certainly looked it. Hey, certainly looked it. We can track back a little, and then we can kind of talk about like the celebration of life, and like what you have kind of planned for this year in August 2023. But I know for you through most people I'd say know outside of your friends and family know you from like the 10 and 10 challenge. And what like kind of an insane kind of endeavor that was. Do you just want to kind of give us a wee recap of what you did? So the August 2021. You like set out to raise money for like local mental health services, and if you just want to kind of like talk a little bit like what inspired that.
If you take it right back to sort of the whole 10 and 10 and right back to my father, my daddy would have done triathlons and he would have raced for Ireland internationally. And he died from suicide in 2011. And then ever since then, I always wanted to do something to raise awareness around suicide and sort of combat mental health issues that people might be facing. So like from then, 10 years passed, I had never done a fundraiser. I had never, nothing ever came. Life passed by and it was busy and stuff, and work and family and whatever else. But like 10 years passed, lockdown happened. I think lockdown gave me time to plan something and put something in place, and that's where the 10 and 10 idea came from, and in the sense that it was his 10th year anniversary. He did triathlons. What would be a challenge fitting they mark that 10-year anniversary. So like I decided to do the 10 Ironman over 10 days on his 10th year anniversary, and target was just to raise money and raise awareness, and it just everything blew up. Hey, it just went straight out of the park.
So you have a background in fitness. And like you're a personal trainer, but like what gave you the idea of doing 10 Ironmans in 10 days? Because like even like I know a few people who are in the fitness world, but like the idea of taking on such an event, you knew you could do it deep down inside. Like you had this passion burning from like the life experiences. Did you have doubt the moment you said, I'm going to commit to this and put it out to the world? Like this is what I'm doing. Can you just kind of talk about like, was there doubt in your mind up until the point you did it, or was it just like I know I can do this from the get-go?
So there was like a guy called Simon Doherty was chatting to me about the whole Iron Cowboy, the guy who's over in America did like 100 Ironman back to back in like 100 days or something, and I was like, right, let's number crunch, like let's see like how fast could I swim 3.9k, how fast can I cycle 112 mile, how fast can I do a marathon? Never done a marathon before, like
wow.
But I was just I never done a marathon before. I think the most I ran up until that point was like 16 mile, like that was the most I ever ran.
But I've done like 20 plus miles, just on a Sunday to see what it's like.
Aye.
It's no joke.
No, it's no
Like
joke.
half marathon distance, marathon distance. Once you go past 20 miles, like
Aye.
it's kind of intense. Like
kinda
you can. I remember coming home even as I'm shivering. So like the fact that you hadn't done that, man, is like it's.
Like the first day of the Ironman was like my first Ironman, my first marathon combined. No, so it was like
Yeah.
even that is like overwhelming, like emotion, like that's you're buzzing.
Yeah.
Like off that the first night I couldn't sleep, not because I was tired or anything or restless. It was because I was buzzing that I'd just done my first Ironman and I'd done my first marathon.
Yeah.
But like going back to like figuring out the times and stuff, I was like, right, so my swim will take me like best case scenario 1 hour, worst case scenario 3 hours. No, it was like, so it'll take 3 hours. Bike, best case scenario 5 hours, worst case scenario 7 hours. So you're up at 10 hours. And then the marathon was like, right, best case 4.5, worst case 8. No, that's the way I worked it out. 18 hours. I've still got 6 hours to play with. Do you know what I mean? So it was like the worst case scenarios that I was adding up on my head, time wise, was still letting me complete an Ironman a day. No, over each day, over the 24 hours. That's the way I was looking at it. No, I wasn't looking at it as like what I didn't think too much about what was next and doing it repetitively over. I wasn't thinking about logistics and stuff. I wasn't thinking about like what am I going to eat, how am I going to feel myself. Like that was later. That came closer to the time. But like the initial thoughts was like I think I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There was doubt whenever I got injured during my training.
Mm-hmm.
Doubt started creeping on then. Like I was on course. I think it was about 6 weeks out from the date they start, and I like injured my calf. Like I got a bad calf injury, and I was up at like 16 mile. I was up at like just about to do a long run on maybe 19 mile that weekend, and it just hit me, and it was like I had to ring for a lift. I had to ring to get took home. Like I couldn't continue the run. Started doing like anti-gravity treadmills. Do you ever hear them?
I haven't, no.
And so it's like like a treadmill that reduces your body weight.
Okay.
So it can bring you down to like 20% of your body weight.
I could do with that.
It was sweet. Like I felt like I was. I don't know. I felt like I was Mufara
Yeah.
on the treadmill.
Yeah.
But it reduced the impact on my joints.
Yeah.
Down to like 20% of my body weight.
Yeah.
And slowly built that up over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
So you're still working out your cardiovascular system,
Yeah.
and then your muscular system, like your muscles are being kind of like less
muscle
taxing.
memory and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely, like that helped, but it was still like, right, I think I only bolted up to about 16 mile again before I had to start.
Okay.
And it was like that was a major setback, and that was trouble. Like that was bad times. Like come home and I was like, well, should have just sack it, should have just like call it off, should have put it off the next year, or what should I do? But I hammered on with it anyway. And the first day got through the marathon grand. Second day a wee bit faster, I think. Third day a wee bit slower. Fourth day was an absolute nightmare. That fourth day was a nightmare. But again, I wonder if I hadn't got injured, would things have been easier? No, could have done more, could have done them faster. No, what would have happened if I hadn't got injured? And it's something that still plays on my head at times. Like maybe I could have done more, or maybe I could have done a wee bit more than 10. Where do you stop? And
well, I think 10 and 10 is a good start. Once you finish the 10 and 10, I guess there's a few things we can kind of touch on. Would be number one, like what was your original financial goal to kind of raise for, and then what did you end up getting? I believe it was over 100,000 you raised.
I think we raised like 110 grand.
The reasons why, like, there is obviously a mental health issue in different parts of the world, but here I'm from Derry, you're from Derry, Northern Ireland tends to have issues. So is it a lack of funding? There's also potential cultural and historical reasons why. I mean, I know from growing up here in the city, the culture of alcohol is like quite prominent. Drugs are quite prominent. You know, like there's a difference between going out and having a drink at the weekend versus like, you know, what would be a borderline abuse of alcohol.
Yeah.
There's just so many factors, and it's impossible. Suicide's such a complex thing, so it's just like, how do you even pinpoint one? And usually it's probably not one reason.
Yeah.
What have you experienced in the city, and what have you learned about like why this is a problem? Not just suicide, but other mental health issues as well.
Definitely. Hey, like there's so much that we could talk about surrounding mental health and suicide, and the rates that are phenomenal. Like I think it's like a peg down from cancer and heart disease. Like suicide's next.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's one of these things where you could talk about it all day, the factors on which contribute, such things as like depression rates and being so high and suicides being so high. No, we could nitpick at them all day long. Like we could say that financial support, funding. No, we could do that all day. But like what this whole sort of experience and what it's unfolded for me is that the simple thing to do is discuss and educate people on methods which can improve their mental health. So in a way, the actual cure is protective measures and how to look after yourself and how to look after your mental health.
Prevention. Yeah, and free education.
Yeah, tools. Teach the youth.
Do you feel like currently, like an obvious place would be the educational system?
Yes.
So you think it needs to be improved?
100%. Hey, and like what I've gone on to do now is go on these schools and teach kids. Like there's a famous saying that says, it's easier to it's easier to make a strong child than it is to change a broken man. So
wow,
it's
that's quite.
I actually don't know where that quote came from. I just heard it, and it was like, right, it's easier to make strong children than to repair a broken man. So it's like, go on the primary schools, go on the secondary schools, go on the age groups where the children understand feelings and understand. And if they don't understand feelings, teach them how to express their feelings. Teach them what ways and words they can use to describe how they're feeling.
Yeah, identify emotions. With just not. You're not just bad. You're not just good. It's like there's very nuanced ways of like identifying emotional kind of experiences.
Exactly, and let them understand that. No, like if you're feeling sad, no, what is feeling sad?
Yeah.
Like no, if you're feeling anxious, what is feeling anxious? Like no, and make them aware of these, and then make them aware of tools in which they can use in order to get them out of a tight space whenever they're in there.
Yeah.
No, there's no point in telling a man, oh, here, like, oh, you're feeling depressed. Sure, you'll be grand tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you can tell somebody they feel a certain way whenever they're feeling a certain way. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, there's no point in saying to somebody, you're going to be grand, if they're not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if they're not feeling grand, then there's no. It's nearly comical in a sense where it's like, telling a man who's breaking down or in a severe state of depression, get yourself on. No, like it just doesn't work like that, and it's rife. Like men who feel that they're a burden on people because they're feeling a certain way, they might not even understand how they're feeling because of how they've been brought up. So it's like breaking that stigma surrounding expressing how you feel is is also a key aspect in this for someone who is suffering from depression. No, if they feel that by expressing how they're feeling to somebody is going to make things worse, or in a way cause in a way they sort of feel that they're a burden on someone, then they're hardly going to tell you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're going to try and hide it. Like, if they feel that by telling somebody I feel suicidal, or I feel I'm feeling down, they're going to be judged. They're going to, like, it blows my mind how backward thinking.
Yeah,
Times.
it's like trying to create an environment where people can feel safe and
It's just
supported. They kind of discuss their emotions. I think it's like
people know that it's okay to say how you feel.
I think one of the just through like some studying and reading I've done, like, you know, it's also important to realize and this is me talking from my own journey through like physical and mental health, but you know, it's okay. It's normal to feel anxious. Like, anxious is it's a normal biological survival system that we have. But I think the key is like getting rid of unnecessary suffering. And like you says, it's like being able to kind of be given the tools at a young age to differentiate the difference between I'm nervous because I have a test, or I'm nervous because this isn't, like, you know, normal things like going on in your life that you can't prevent. But then there's also like worrying constantly about something that may not ever happen. Also couple that in with like taking alcohol, say as a young teenager, which I have done plentiful of. When I actually found out about the idea of removing unnecessary suffering and pain, so like I was like, there were certain things in my life that I knew that I could do better with, but so once I removed those, all of a sudden, like, I wasn't as bad as I thought I was. But then if you are still as bad, then at least then you know you can go seek help and speak out.
You're right. You're right. Like, taking away that choice of expression. Like, if you think about it, like someone who's feeling suicidal, they're not going to tell you. No. Right? They're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you because of the stigmas that surround it. So by telling somebody, like, no, it's okay not to feel okay, that's the last thing that a person who's feeling suicidal is thinking about. Like, no, they're not thinking it's okay to be feeling this way. They're thinking they're thinking about how to kill themselves. Yeah. Like, that's how they're thinking. No, once you've reached that stage, what's restricting you and what's making things worse is the stigmas. It's these thoughts that you can't, nobody cares, that you're thinking nobody cares. You're thinking that how can I express myself here, like, whenever the world is the way it is. No, but what we need to try and do is say to people that it's okay, be able to ask the difficult question, and not even be able to ask the difficult question, change this thought that it is a difficult question, into this is actually a normal thing. And why is it a normal thing? Because suicide rates are so high, because depression is so high. So we should be able to just say, right, you know what, hey, you're having a bad time, are you alright? Do you feel suicidal? And it's as simple as that. Since the 10 and 10s happened and stuff, and thereafter, I've really thought about how the mind works and how the physical and the mental side of things link. I've created a program called ABC program, which is an ABC program. An ABC program, okay. The ABC stands for Agility, Balance, and Coordination. Okay. But it's actually a mental health program. Okay. Through physical activity. So what we do is we raise the heart rate of a child between sort of 8 and 12. We raise their heart rate by about 30 to 40 beats. And what we've found already, like, we've done this program with about 140 children, and what we're finding is that by raising their heart rate, their fight or flight responses, the anything, their fight response is heightened, so they will challenge something a lot more. They'll if they're faced with something challenging, they'll fight it. They'll not run away. Interesting. Now, whenever you add on a mental health topic to this equation, what we're finding is the responses are a lot higher. more engaged. And what happens is, whenever we throw on a topic like grief,
Yeah.
that child's response is more engaging than if that child would have been sat at a classroom and we would have been just asking them questions. No, they're ready for the question.
Or, so I think that's only a positive.
And we got the first drafts on the logos and stuff now, like the Lighthouse logo, which is like you drew that up. It was mad, like, for me, like, because whenever I heard it the first time, I was like, what? Like, this is exactly what we're trying to do. And it's so the whole thing that we're trying to get is a structure of some sort, like some sort of
either a sculpture or a standalone piece of artwork that can be informative, but it's also a constant light for people that are not here with us anymore, unfortunately.
Drew that up.
Well, I drew a few ones up, and some were a bit more complicated than others. And I thought, let's keep this nice and bold and simple, and that wee bit playful too, where it can reach any audience as well, I suppose. And I think overthinking things when it comes to logo designs is that you can end up where it's really bold, it's really simple, and as I say, I sent it to you to think, what do you is this the direction we should be going on? But I think we were on the same page from talking anyway.
Even that like from the very start, whenever you mentioned the lighthouse, and then the lighthouse being like a beacon of light, so like the drawing of the lighthouse, like I got it on a few t-shirts now and a few hoodies and all, so like eventually we'll start getting it out there, and people will start talking about what's this lighthouse all about.
Well, it's a symbol that I've come across in so many of my workshops with young people. Within the tattoo world, the semicolon, the lighthouse, and all these wee things are symbols to let other people know that you've maybe suffered from some kind of mental health or some kind of some kind of issue has affected you in a way.
I just had this image of somebody who was in need of help, like somebody who is standing at the bridge, contemplating, is this it? Is this it for me? Like, and then having that image of the light, whether it be rotating, will it be flashing, will it be something?
We don't know yet, but
it's just something that could just like trigger. Let's go down here first. Let's go to that lighthouse, and then you came up with the idea of having so you'll have helpline numbers around the lighthouse, or maybe like some sort of QR code where somebody could scan it.
Potentially a digital screen that has information on it, or ultimately I think what would be amazing would be to have internet access at it. There's Wi-Fi there where people can straight away, because everybody has a phone in their pocket, but not everybody's got access to internet. So they could go, well, there's a service, and I can connect with that service instantly.
Yes.
And just speaking with the Pike and Palm staff of saying they've encountered some people who looked like they were struggling around the river. If there's something there, and they can be guiding them towards that. It's a work in progress, and we're going to go with it, and we're going to see where we get.
Remember? And then I went and met with Donal. Donal does the arts and stuff, but he came up with this idea of a lighthouse. So it's made out of 3 sort of metal prong structures, just shooting straight up from the ground, and then it'll be hollow in the middle, and it'll come straight up, and then it'll be like a solar panel at the top that'll power the light from the lighthouse. The lighthouse will be somewhere on the foil, and that's where you come in, Sandra. And then Donal was mentioning about Nerve Centre maybe making this thing.
So you build it up layers of plastic that just come up, and it, each ring represents a person.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And you start to build it up like that as well. So it's a piece of public sculpture, piece of public art that you try and identify the right location along the river, but it also is it can be used as more symbolic of trying to lead people towards the services that are available as well. So it's not just a piece of art that people go, that's lovely, but it also has essential information on it, so that and the light's always on. So the notion is that you know, that when Danny and Donal were talking about it, it's that notion of the lighthouse as a place where you see the light and you can get the shore, and I think that's a really symbolic thing. So if it's always on, it's on the foil, at least, you know, you see the volunteers, the support services are all there.
I have to say, it's sort of blown me away as well. But just to clarify, on the foil or along the quay?
Along, not in the water.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the quay that is visible.
Okay.
So the idea is, if somebody comes walking along and they're not feeling the best, they see the light. It's a beacon of light. It's a beacon of hope. And then, like, at the bottom, there'll be numbers. So like the likes of Lifeline, a charity who's going to be like support them if they needed somebody to call straight away. The numbers are at the bottom, and they're lit up for them to see.
Danny, I think it's actually a really fantastic idea, and I know that over the years there has been similar things talked about, but they have never happened. So to see for this to actually happen, I think that it would be fantastic, because it is something that we have talked about for so long, having something positive along the river, having that beacon of light, and having those numbers that are there that people can access. So no, look, I'll take note of that.
Celebration of life.
The celebration of life,
Dad, I know it's a big part of your life right now, and you're gearing towards it. And the V02 Max today was a one part of the journey. So yeah, if you just want to kind of tell us what the celebration of life is and where you're at with it right now.
The title itself kind of tells you exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
The celebration of life is they celebrate the positives, the achievements, the person who died from suicide. So what we're looking at is the positive in that person, what they achieved whenever they were here, the goodness that they spread, what they loved to do. Remember the person for who they were, instead of this sort of closed off red stamp on that. Let's not talk about that again. Let's not talk about them again. Let's not talk about the good times that they had whilst they were here. Let's not talk about the legacy that they leave. No, we kind of get overshadowed, and we kind of get focused on when someone dies from suicide. It's kind of like let's close that. Let's not look back at that. Let's not look back at them, because it's only going to be the suicide's going to shine. Yeah. No, what we're going to try and do is through the celebration of life, really shine a light on the person, who they were, what they loved to do before the frail, the bad times, before the depression, before the drugs, before anything that contributed negatively in their life. Yeah. No, we're going to look at the positives. We're going to look at the person, who they were, what they loved to do, and that's it. No, and I think that for a lot of families who have lost someone through a suicide, we tend to think, no, what could we have done better? No, we kind of don't want to talk about it because we feel some sort of blame. No, and if we don't, then that's great. But at some stage we might have felt about a blame, and what could we have done to help things? And the simple reality is that we couldn't have done nothing. The simple reality is that we need to look at these people. We need to remember them for who they are, and we need to remember them for what they done. All the goodness. And the celebration of life is they celebrate these people for who they were and remember them for who they were, not for how they died.
I think like you have this journey where you're trying to help people in the future and to give people tools so that this is, we can essentially decrease this and negate this as much as possible. But also what you're doing here is also you're going back and in a way and like hopefully changing the perception of the past to actually bring back people's life in a memory of their family and their friends, and maybe they can have more conversations and not feel bad about like what happened. So it's very powerful. It's a very powerful thing, very powerful endeavor. Do you just want to kind of talk about like technically how that's going to look? So what are you actually doing, and how is that going to work? I believe it's like each mile will be dedicated to a family or a person whose family was affected by suicide.
So the initial sort of plan was they swim from Lifford to Shreve,
Yeah.
That's already changed.
Which is the distance?
So I think that would have been about 60k or 90k or something like that.
just 60 or 90. Yeah.
Well, what we're actually doing now is we're going to swim from Lifford to Kinnagoe Bay, which is
Okay.
about 100k.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
I thought about the people and who we're doing it for, and I just scrapped the idea of putting a number beside somebody's name.
Okay.
So what we've changed that is it just doesn't sit well with me.
Okay.
In the sense that putting a number beside somebody's
Sure.
name.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be the celebration of life. The whole entire swim is going to be for the whole entire people who come forward, and
Yeah.
and each week I plan on ringing up the family and learning about the people, learning about who they were, what they done, what they love to do, just the simple things that actually make a person. Like and it doesn't need to be like they won an Olympic gold medal. No, you know what I mean? Like,
because if you know yourself, a lot of the most beautiful things in life are the normal things.
Exactly.
Like like remember such and such did that. Like how amazing. Like some of the things that I look at my family and friends, it's actually the things we reminisce about are like the simple thing, like such and such. They loved that, didn't they? You know.
It's like if you drive past a hull. That like it could even be a wee mound of grass. Remember the time we used to throw stones off out there and try to hit a ball.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the things that you remember people for.
Yeah.
And I think like having that is enough, and that's what makes those people live on.
Yeah.
No, it could even be something simple as going and ordering a certain drink in a certain place.
Yeah.
No, it could be anything at all. It just brings you back that person.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to show.
Yeah.
No, that's the person. The person who used to fish over in that corner. No, he wouldn't have fished there because he wouldn't have catch anything. He wouldn't have caught anything.
Yeah.
You know, and it could be their own wee special thing that they did. It could even be like make no sense or be untrue, but they believe that, and that's what we want to sort of show is that person who did that, who loved doing this, who that helped them. No, and then hopefully by showing what helped them, what they love to do, can again help someone else. So it's like it's got like a domino effect. It's let's show this person. As well as that, you're going to have all different walks of life. You're going to have people who have died from suicide. All right, it's in the background. It's not what we're focusing on here. But you might have a teacher. You might have a taxi driver. You might have a solicitor. You might have all these different walks of life, and it shows that mental health affects everyone.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And suicide can hit anyone at any given time. No, you could be feeling amazing. Next thing, you're down here. You've heard some really bad news. Something really bad's happened. No, and what this is going to show is a massive light on these people and who they are and what we want to sort of give them as a nice picture, and not focusing on the suicide, and that's it. Like,
Donny, man, you're honestly, hey, like I've known you about 1.5 years now, like, and you're an honest guy, you're a special guy, you're a big inspiration to me and many other people, and what you're doing is awesome. So just keep doing it, man, and I look forward to seeing the effects that you kind of bring to our city and hopefully beyond. Like, so
thanks, Eamon. Sound, hey, appreciate that, hey.
Okay,
Top man.
that's all.